The Apostle Paul says in 2 Corinthians 5:19, God reconciled the world to himself through Jesus. Reconciliation means to unite, to restore the relationship. Jesus took into himself my rebellion and shame on the cross. So I'm no longer an enemy of God, but in full relationship with God. Paul describes this restored status by declaring that we are in Christ and a new creation. We are a new kind of human, and so we work through conflict in a new human way. So when we are in conflict with each other at Christ Lincoln, here is how we hope to move forward. The first step in reconciliation is a correct understanding of myself and a right perception of you, the person with whom I have conflict. I am in Christ. I bring Jesus with me into this conflict. This involves time of quiet reflection and many talks with Jesus about my hurt feelings, angry desires, or contribution to the conflict. I remind myself that I am a new creation. I have dignity, significance, I have worth, and it's all in Jesus. This security allows me to apologize when needed and speak clearly and calmly in this conflict. But I also need a right perception of you. I need to make the conscious decision to believe that you are not evil, not my enemy. You too are in Christ, and you are a new creation. Reconciliation begins with the internal habit of assuming the best of you. When I ruminate on negative assumptions of you or keep a close eye on what you do so I can find ways to substantiate my opinion of you, reconciliation works most efficiently when I start with a mindset of curiosity. Maybe there are issues behind this conflict that I'm not seeing in myself, in your circumstances. This is putting our new creation into practice. The second step of reconciliation is talking directly, not texting, not emailing, certainly not posting. If I have anything to say to you that will be difficult for you to receive, I must do it in person. Seriously, I'm not going to explain my circumstances, ask you questions, or try to resolve this conflict in any way through electronics. If we practice this one rule, reconciliation has a chance. We violate the rule and outcomes are disastrous, always disastrous. In Matthew 18, Jesus says that when you have conflict, not if, go and find the other person and talk. This also means that I can't ghost you, ignore you because the work of reconciliation doesn't seem worth it. You're my fellow new creation, and you're worth the effort. Sometimes it's helpful to have a trusted, uninvolved friend to help navigate the conflict. Matthew 18 speaks to this as well. The third step to reconciliation is owning up. I need to tell you concretely how I contributed to this conflict. My inner self is screaming to win this argument and get you to submit to my brilliance. But in doing this, I'm not really listening to you. I'm waiting for a gap to get back at you. To not act on these impulses is a miracle. The power of Jesus is fighting against my selfish stupidity. Rather, I am a new creation. I am in Christ. In this security, I can own up to my part in this conflict and give you the opportunity to do the same. The last step of reconciliation is a clear word of forgiveness, which means I'm not holding this against you. Our relationship is restored. This doesn't mean that we suddenly become best friends. You may not even like me. It may take time and effort to rebuild trust. Forgiveness means that I am intentionally choosing to not hold you in resentment. I'm choosing to assume the best of you and treat you as a fellow brother or sister in Christ. Now, none of this is easy, obviously. All of this is a miracle, really. Reconciliation is putting into practice our new creation identity. And this matters to Jesus, who says in John 13, verse 35, that our greatest witness to the world is how we treat each other. So when we fight, and we will, let's bring Jesus into our mess and let him show the world through us what new humans look like.